Eat it. It's good for you. So I made a post recently about how a man was complaining and trying to come up with all of these different reasons why men could not be emotionally intelligent. And I said a lot of things in that little short audio, but I wanted to add to that because what is the most interesting thing to me now that I've kind of thought about the whole conversation again is that he's arguing with me about something that actually would benefit him. And when I thought about it that second time, it reminded me of raising my kids. I have two boys, they're 28 now. And anybody who's had kids knows that a lot of times the things that you sometimes argue with your young kids about, like, for example, a bedtime. I'm not tired. I just want to stay up a little bit longer, or some of us who limited the amount of TV or video games that our kids could play, and we made them go outside. We made them read a book. We made them do other activities that were more mentally engaging and were not just sitting there being couch potatoes. And some of them, my kids, complained and complained and complained. We didn't let them eat junk food all the time. They had to eat some of their vegetables or all of their vegetables, depending on how your household was. They had to brush their teeth in my house 2 times a day and even learn how to floss, even though they wanted to tell me that once a day was enough. So you have all of these requirements, rules, things that you're trying to ingrain in your children. Because as the parent, that this is what's good for them. And as much as they think that you're being mean and cruel and unreasonable and having these demands that their friends' parents may not have them do, and nobody else has to deal with this because you're the only parent in the world that expects this, or you're so unreasonable and your standards are so high and you want them to be perfect just because you're asking for these small, manageable, healthy things. And then recently my son, who's 28, came home and he was, I had just cooked and he got a big plate of food and he said, Mom, he said, I'm 28 and I never thought I would say this, but I'm turning into you. He was like, I ate a pizza the other day and it made me so sick to my stomach. I ended up vomiting the other day. It was so greasy and I tried to ignore it because I'm supposed to be able to eat all this junk. It's not supposed to bother me, but it did. And he was like, I can tell the difference when I eat salads and fruits and vegetables and take my vitamins and drink water. I can tell the difference. And it's so amazing to me because I didn't appreciate any of this stuff when you were trying to get me to do it when I was a kid or a teenager. I hated it. I complained. I even thought that you were depriving me and I was mad. And he was like, and now that I'm 28, I actually realized what a good childhood I had and how I had all of this stuff laid out for me that I could have just grabbed a hold of and ran with. And I'm not saying that I'm the healthiest person on the planet at all by any means, but I did try to provide my kids a healthy diet, among other things. And he was talking about the reading and the other things, even to this day, he's not a person who spends a whole lot of time on social media or TV watching or video gaming. He reads more than he does those things. So anyway, to bring it back to the conversation that I started with, all of the things that I was trying to do with my kids were not for my benefit, because it might have been easier to feed them junk food, to let them veg out in front of the TV all day. It might have been easier to let video games be their babysitter. It might have been a lot easier. But in the end, I knew that it wouldn't serve them and that it wouldn't make them the kind of well-rounded people that they needed to be, and the kind of people that I would be proud to say that I had a hand in raising. Now, of course, I'm not trying to raise any grown men, but when you have a partner, or when you want a man to be your partner, and you really want the best for him, and you're talking to him about things like emotional availability, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, it's on that same wavelength of, I understand that this may not be easy. It may not be fun. It may not be, your default setting where you could just, do this like you've always done this. I understand it may be stepping out of your comfort zone, but the benefit to you is a healthier you. This is not just something I'm asking for me. It's literally a healthier you. Men are 14 times more likely to go to jail than women. They're many times more likely to unalive themselves and to have problems with drug addiction and alcoholism. The incidence of depression in males is many times higher, especially among certain demographics of males. So when we're talking about things like emotional availability, emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, single men, die often 10 years earlier than married men, and earlier than any woman, except for in a few parts of the world. And all of this is tied to unhealthy lifestyle habits. It's tied to the way that you suppress your emotions. And when you suppress your emotions, it toxifies your system. You can end up with hypertension and, cancer and heart problems because of unresolved stress. And that's what repressed emotions can become, unresolved stress. So this guy is literally fighting me and fighting against his own interests, because I am a person on the internet. I'm not going to get any benefit from him changing. All right. He's going to get the benefit from him changing. But he's so ingrained in this is the way it's always been, and this is what it means to be a man, and you're threatening my identity and my sense of security by asking me to do something that's going to move me out of my comfort zone, that I won't even consider that it